This video is based on Lingshan Hermit's work Good Self-Esteem and Bad Self-Esteem. All rights reserved. Any infringement will be pursued. Someone asked me about the impact of self-esteem on spiritual practice. From a higher Buddhist perspective, anything that encourages the self is basically an enemy of practice and will hold back one's spiritual development. Self-esteem is certainly built upon the self. It assumes that the self truly exists, and then generates concepts like self-esteem and self-love based on this assumption. According to Buddhist teachings, all our wrongdoings arise because we believe in the existence of a self. So, if your practice has truly reached the level where you need to realize no self, self-esteem is undoubtedly an obstacle. But if we try to speak from the perspective of most ordinary practitioners, from the viewpoint of those who have no concept of emptiness and are still at the stage of choosing good over evil, self-esteem is not necessarily a bad thing. If their self-esteem happens to be based on Confucian values, then this kind of self-esteem can be beneficial to practice at a certain stage. Over the years, I have seen many people who are incapable of self-reflection and many who have no sense of shame. I don't believe they have any chance of becoming good practitioners. The qualities emphasized by Confucianism, such as self-examination or a sense of shame, if properly applied, can become an excellent foundation for Buddhist practice. Things that can make you feel ashamed usually urge you toward a better direction, and the self-reflection advocated by Confucianism is something many people lack nowadays. Throughout history, Confucianism has taught many rules and stipulated many things you should or shouldn't do, which has annoyed many people. But from a practice perspective, the benefits of these things clearly outweigh the drawbacks. The worst practitioners I've seen are those who have absolutely no Confucian culture in them. Although from the highest view of Vajrayana, these rules and class distinctions taught by Confucianism would undoubtedly become obstacles to liberation. The fact is, most people's practice is far from reaching the level where they can aspire to this highest realm. Most practitioners' lives are far from realizing no self. So these types of Confucian teachings are quite beneficial for them. People who grow up in Confucian societies usually have a sense of shame and embarrassment. They don't consider being pointed out for their problems as something absolutely unacceptable. And the Confucian scholars' concern for the world can be seen as a foundation for the Bodhisattva of Mahayana. Although it still has significant differences from Bodhisattva, it remains an excellent foundation. Many Buddhists who look down on Confucianism don't even care about their own neighbors, yet they have the audacity to claim they have Bodhisattva and are Vajrayana practitioners. There is a popular value system now that is completely opposite to Confucianism. Their sense of dignity is built on being able to manipulate others at will, to urinate on other people's heads, to drive a Maybach, to enjoy food and clothing without working, to achieve prosperity without effort. Their self-esteem is based on these things. I have seen many such people who are keen on becoming social managers, keen on becoming superior to others, and this type of person has a tendency to proliferate now. If your self-esteem is based on such values, this kind of self-esteem will bring you disaster. Although both are based on the existence of a self, Confucianism aims to train a better self. This better self has the function of self-purification. It can see and is willing to face its own shortcomings. So having this kind of self-esteem can become the raw material for becoming a Buddha or Bodhisattva and can serve as the foundation for our future realization of no self. In contrast, the other value system extremely exalts the self. Their self-esteem is usually built on considering themselves flawless and on being able to act arbitrarily without constraints. These people typically think they are perfect. This means they are extremely insecure, meaning they don't accept any criticism, nor do they accept that they have made any mistakes. Although they don't accept or admit their mistakes, they still make mistakes, and they do so frequently. So they must deceive themselves, must find various reasons for their mistakes, must push their errors onto others. Such people do not acknowledge their own problems, are unwilling to accept discipline, reject all well-intentioned advice, and completely block their own path of ascension. If a person's self-esteem is built on spiritual self-examination, on observing whether their words and actions conform to the way, then even if this self-esteem is based on the self, even if it might cause them to develop a moral obsession, it is still a better kind of self-esteem. This kind of self-esteem will urge you to examine yourself and help you avoid many evil actions. The other kind of self-esteem is entirely built on self-deception. This kind of self-esteem will help you cover up your mistakes, prevent you from seeing yourself clearly, allow you to continue making mistakes, and make you increasingly worse. This kind of self-esteem is based on misinterpreting your true state, on vigorously defending this misinterpretation, on controlling and bullying others, and on a huge sense of uncertainty about yourself and the world. This kind of self-esteem is related to power, to promotion and salary increases, to luxurious mansions in Yunjin Dongfang, but it has nothing to do with self-reflection. If they do reflect, what they are actually reflecting on is summarizing where they misspoke this time, allowing the other person to seize the opportunity to counterattack, and how they should speak next time to leave the other person completely speechless. Their self-reflection is always centered around protecting the self, around how to train a more cunning self. Therefore, if a person's self-esteem is based on such values, it is tantamount to announcing their death in spiritual practice.